Prolific game designer and Fallout New Vegas senior designer Chris Avellone cast heavy doubt on the possibility of a remaster of Fallout New Vegas in an extended interview with the YouTube channel TK's Mantis, saying that Bethesda likely lacks the, quote, engineering know-how to pull it off. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to agree.
Yeah, I mean, we keep dogging on Bethesda. It's starting to get a little exhausting at this point. Hey, we love you. We love your games. Just, it's complicated. It's complicated sometimes.
Complicated, Lawrence, is a very good word for this to describe the prospects of a New Vegas remaster. Games Radar caught the news in which Avellone isn't exactly calling Bethesda inept, though he's certainly more blunt than most game devs.
Yeah, and you could read between the lines here if you want. And he does spill some tea about that working relationship. We'll get to that later. Regardless, Avellone said, quote, I don't think Bethesda has the engineering know-how to make a remaster of New Vegas at all.
That's quite a statement, I think.
Pretty blunt, yeah.
Yeah, the reason it would be an engineering challenge for Bethesda is that, according to Avellone, Obsidian never delivered Fallout New Vegas source code at the end of the project.
Yeah. As Avellone reveals, New Vegas's final milestone was to, quote, deliver all the source code and the ability to make the build in exchange for a $10,000 check.
That's it?
Yeah, just $10K? You'd think it'd be way more on that, right?
Yeah. Apparently, Obsidian CEO Fergus Urquhart elected to skip the $10,000 paycheck.
Makes you wonder why. Maybe he's feeling kind of protective at that point. Who knows? Avellone acknowledges that a remaster could be made similarly to the recent Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remastered, where Unreal Engine visuals are wrapped around the game's creation engine core.
Yeah, it worked out really well for that game. But then Avellone very correctly points out that it would make sense to, quote, try out that process with Fallout 3 before biting off a New Vegas remaster. And that's what's rumored, Fallout 3.
Yeah, that was revealed in some of the, improperly redacted documents in the lawsuit to prevent the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, that whole thing. That was a long time ago. Yeah, that was apparently was in the works at some point. We have to assume it still is now, but we haven't heard anything about it.
And now that Obsidian and Bethesda share a common parent company in Xbox and Microsoft, it's tempting to think that collaborative lines could be reestablished.
Tempting, yes, but further anecdotes from Avellone don't depict the rosiest collaboration.
That's too bad. There's that tea we did mention in the intro, so we'll get into it in just a sec. First, we got to class up your gaming space a little. Here's the slate.
Hey gamers, let's talk about your walls. How are they looking? A little sad maybe? A little lonely? Empty? Class up your gaming space with Displate, who's sponsoring today's episode. Displate offers more than 2 million designs to class up your gaming space. Pick from over 200 officially licensed brands like Marvel, Star Wars, The Witcher, and One Piece, or original artworks from over 40,000 independent artists. Are you worried that maybe they don't have what you want to see up on your walls? Impossible. You can upload your own designs as well. Just make sure you clear it with your partner or roommates before pregnant Sonic shows up at the door. But hey, selling it at that point won't be hard because Displates look so good. Every Displate is printed on lightweight steel, comes in 3 sizes from medium to extra large, and includes the protective leaves and magnets for easy, tool-free mounting and fast swapping of artwork. Displates also come in 3 premium finishes: matte, gloss, and Textra, which combines matte and gloss with a 3D enhanced print, helping those details pop, or maybe catch a little accent lighting you decide to put on your showpiece. With every brand under the sun, plus the option to print your own designs, Displate is the perfect way to class up your gamer den, or a great gift for a friend with depressingly bare walls. Or you know what? Thanks to our discount code, why not both? Use the discount link in the description or our discount code INSIDE to get 26% off 1 Displate, 31% off 2 Displates, or 36% off 3 or more Displates. The more you buy, the more you save. So tap that link in the description right now. Thank you very much, Displate, for the support and for the great decorations. I looked it up, and Displate does have a lot of cool Fallout designs, just saying. But yeah, getting back to the story here, Avellone shared some stories that imply Obsidian and Bethesda didn't really have the best working relationship.
That's what we've heard. Elsewhere in the interview with TK's Mantis, Avellone recalled telling press back in the day that New Vegas would run at 30 FPS. He said, quote, in my mind, it's inexcusable that a game would not run 30 frames per second, so I said, yes, it will. And to my surprise, I'm in this Bethesda meeting, this tech director starts lecturing me about, you shouldn't have said that. He continued, and I'm sitting there taking it, and all I'm thinking back in my head is like, why do you have a fucking engine that can't run 30 frames per second and then call that your claim to fame and you're the director of technology? It was so offensive to me. I sat there and I smiled and I took it. But overall, that in itself was one fundamental flaw of the technology there.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one thinking it. It's interesting that, you know, I don't know, well, whatever. I'll just leave it there. All right. Avalon also said that Bethesda programmers, quote, say the engine has all sorts of messes under the hood. I think we've kind of heard this over the years, but yeah.
Everybody knows it too. If you play New Vegas, it crashes every 45 minutes or whatever.
Oh gosh, yeah. The best you can hope for is to kind of make it crash less, and that's the best anyone's ever been able to do.
That's not the only time Avalon felt patronized by Bethesda either. Avalon said that after Obsidian had finished their run of New Vegas DLCs, Bethesda made, quote, a whole PowerPoint about all the things Obsidian did wrong.
My goodness. Yeah, he sarcastically described the event as, quote, hugely morale boosting. Can't even imagine. Sheesh.
Avalon said that Bethesda used low review scores for New Vegas DLC as a reason they didn't want to work with Obsidian anymore. Though he added, quote, they didn't want to keep doing things with us anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Avalon, he didn't leave on the best terms with Obsidian either, so he has a reason to be pretty loose-lipped about things, or at least that's not hugely surprising. But yeah, it's kind of amazing to imagine that. Trying to think of where to begin with this. That story of not delivering the source code at the end is so bananas to me. I'm shocked that it's only 10K. I guess if they had a game they could sell, that's all that matters. But yeah, the fact that the source code wasn't delivered at all feels like a spiteful move. I mean, you don't know why it happened, but it doesn't necessarily imply that everything was going great. And that that makes sense. I thought that, I think like a lot of people, I thought that once Obsidian and Bethesda were under the same umbrella, that maybe Obsidian would have the chance to work on Fallout again. But I think it's even more telling that they kind of made their own version of that with the Outer Worlds. So it's a pretty clear statement to me that they're fine doing their own thing.
You're totally right. And like Obsidian, I'm sure they get asked about Fallout every 3 months or whatever, whenever press pops up to talk about Obsidian's new game. But you can look at Obsidian's history and be like, they're making brand new games. Avowed, they're making, what did they just make? Outer Worlds 1 and 2. Like, they're clearly trying to get away from Fallout. And I'm betting somebody at Microsoft is like desperately trying to get Obsidian and Bethesda in a room to like hash it out. I don't know who is left in terms of executives at Bethesda and executives at Obsidian who have some beef, because there's probably a couple people still who still have this beef from way back in New Vegas times. And it's got to make Bethesda upset that New Vegas is the one that everybody says is the best Fallout, right? Like that generally speaking, most people are like, oh, it's the best Fallout. I'm sure that doesn't make people happy at Bethesda either. So I hope for the sake of all of us gamers that they actually do sit down and talk it out and be like, let's make a New Vegas remaster and then possibly get back into the Fallout world with another Obsidian, not even an expansion, but maybe just a offshoot or a prequel or a sequel.
Yeah, these days you need every little shred of nostalgia or marketing power that you can possibly scrape together. Because yeah, there's good games being made and they just don't get the attention. I believe even Remastered had its little pop-off, so maybe those numbers have convinced the folks at Xbox to mine the millennial nostalgia vein a little further. And that could motivate some meetings, could get some things happening, some checks cut if they're desperate enough to scoop up more Game Pass subscriptions, if that's what it did. So there's potentially a future there. I have to imagine it would be Fallout 3 first, though, and I also have to imagine that Fallout 3 would probably do better as well.
Really? You think Fallout... See, it's interesting, because I know Fallout 3, the remaster for Fallout 3, I mean, like, I feel like it's 95% it's going to come out, and everyone says it's going to come out this year. So I could be wrong, but I think generally speaking, that is the rumor. But everybody's like, well, what about New Vegas? Why can't New Vegas get a remaster? And so I think that they're going to release Fallout 3 before New Vegas, just because they know that that's the one that people want, in quotes, you know? And Fallout 3 will be fantastic, just like Oblivion Remastered was. It'll sell a bunch, and then they'll be like, okay, now we're going to give you the one that everybody wants, New Vegas. But that's like maybe a year or two away, even after the Fallout 3 remaster, if that gets released at all. Like this is all speculation. None of these have been confirmed.
Yeah, but at least they have a lot to work with, I guess, if their developers can start shipping games. Thing is, Obsidian, they've been a factory, man. They've been making games nonstop. I hope that it leads to their success, and I hope that it leads to a bright future where, yes, everyone who wants to return to the mid-2000s can do so gleefully.
Thank you very much for watching Inside Games. We love doing this. Obviously, we try to do it as much as we can. If you love watching us do it as much as we love doing it, check out our Patreon. Everything's posted there for free. Lawrence has a bunch of free memes. I usually request a meme. Lawrence, could I request a Fallout meme? Do you have a Fallout meme?
Oh, there's plenty. Yeah. Let me see what's in the sack.
Okay, all right. We also offer ad-free versions of those sponsored episodes, and today is one of those sponsored episodes, so there are ad-free versions for the Patreon subscribers. So here are some of the brave gamers that actually inspire and support us every day on Patreon. Zach the Hack, Jacob Croyle, Shaky Pants, Rattlelog, and Splinkerton Forkendoggin. We had a real Hall of Famer Patreon name show up. We cannot say it on this episode because it is sponsored. But check back tomorrow. We will say the name tomorrow when it's not sponsored.